This better be good, boys. This better be good.
Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff from the Overwatch team. Really excited today to
Hey,
go
man.
into a lot of detail. I have many things to talk about.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
going to be as quick as possible, but
I'm
we're going to
excited.
cover a lot of topics. First up,
Okay, what I do with these videos is I normally stop it and I analyze it. Let's just give it a round of boys. Beard looking pretty primitive. I like it. I like the rugged style. You see the top here? It's kind of red. Well brushed, well gelled. Something's important happening because he wouldn't dress up that nice if it wasn't important. So he worked very hard because of the beard. And you can see he's trying to look nice at the same time, which is like kind of a contrast that says something big is happening.
is the Torbjorn rework that everyone has been really excited about.
Yo,
and
Torb rework.
anticipating for some time now. Now, Torb is not going to drastically change. He's not going to do wildly new things, but he is going to do a few new things. The first thing to note is that armor packs are gone. They're no longer.
Oh,
a
thank
secondary
fucking God.
ability. And with that, the scrap system is also going away.
Thank
Now
God.
Torb will get an ability called Overload, which actually is going to look a lot like his old ultimate Molten Core, which means he's going to get some movement speed bonus, he's going to get some damage resistance, and he's going to get a firing rate increase. So that is
Damn.
Overload. It's on a cooldown. It will make Torb more viable as a damage dealer
Fighter.
in more situations where he can get in there and scuffle a little bit. Now, I mentioned Molten Core. His old ultimate is changing.
New one?
Let me describe his new ultimate for a second. We're keeping the name Molten Core because we think it's cool. We love World of Warcraft, and it's important to us. And we love the way he yells out Molten Core, so we're keeping that. What he does when he does Molten Core now is that awesome claw hook hand that he has comes up into frame.
Hell
He
yeah.
has that magma, hot liquid magma,
Yeah.
some might say, that he can now shoot out. He has limited ammo for it, and he can shoot out pools of that liquid magma.
Holy shit!
That are very devastating in terms of area of effect damage, and it does extra damage against armor. So we think that will give Torb some new utility in his abilities. Also changing is how the turret works for Torbjorn. Gone.
Yo, that's an actual brick counter. There's an actual way to melt the armor when they used Rally.
Are the levels of turrets. There's no more level 1, level 2, and level 3. It is only level 2 from now on. When he deploys it, it goes through a small but fast build time.
On its
And
own?
He also can deploy it with a slight toss, which means that he can get it into some areas that he can.
What? Shh.
Which means that he can get it into some areas that he couldn't previously get it to before.
That's huge!
Which will create a lot of interesting and fun gameplay. So the goal with all of these changes is to make Torb a more acceptable pick on both attack and defense.
So tiles, dude, that means that you can actually English. You can play low ground comps, and then whenever they're coming in, you can throw something on the high ground if they're running ground comp, right?
And less map or role dependent than he was previously.
That's fucking huge.
We'll see Torb being played in a variety of new ways. We think we were successful with this with Symmetra, where we really changed
not
her
all of
presence
it,
on the
whatever.
battlefield and her perception with players. So
Yeah,
that is
people
the
report her
Torb
now.
rework. There will be more details about the Torb rework, such as changes to his rivet gun that we will detail on our forum, so please look out for those. We're also doing a number of hero balance changes.
Hello?
I'm not going to go into all of them.
Why
They're all
not?
detailed in the patch notes. They will hit the public test region. Not all of them will stay the same, so I'm not going to go into heavy detail on those. We're making some changes to Arista's gun and how that fires. We're looking to improve 76 and McCree's viability with minor changes. There will be some changes to Farah.
Yo! Hit scan meta? Ryan shield meta?
That increase her potential as a high skill hero, but decrease her sort of splash damage that was making her very dominant, in particular on console. So we think the fair adjustment will be both a bonus in both directions, making her more powerful in the more skilled game, making her a little bit less powerful in certain lower skill situation. So we think that's going to be great.
Okay. I wonder what that is.
Other balance changes to other heroes coming. Again, those will be detailed in the patch notes, which we think will be great. Another big focus that we've put into an upcoming patch that's coming to the PTR is great improvements to colorblindness.
Oh, that's good for the stream, boys.
We know that color blindness affects people who are colorblind in many different ways. So our old system worked for a lot of people who were colorblind, but there were many colorblind folks who still really struggled with the game and perceiving friendly versus enemy. Thanks to all of the work that we did for esports and the Overwatch League, we are able to add color changes not only to the character silhouettes, but some of the interface elements. And we're giving you in the colorblind.
That's fucking huge.
Mode, we're giving you options.
Does that mean that you can put colorblind mode on and go to settings and put like almost nothing except the silhouettes? That's fucking huge, I think.
To select which colors work for you. Luckily, we have an amazing producer in charge of this feature who happens to be colorblind himself, and we've been really trying to interact with the colorblind community to suss out which of these colors are helpful or not helpful to people. Obviously, it's something we can iterate on. It's not the end of what we'll do for color blindness, but I think it's a great next step to making color blindness feel a lot better. Also coming up, we're at that time of year where the Halloween event is coming up, the Halloween Terror. It's always one of my favorite times of the year. There's going to be certain areas that look spooky that weren't spooky previously, and I think you have those to look forward to. Now, I want to talk a lot about events. We got a lot of feedback during summer games. I want people to know that we care deeply for the events.
We care too.
Continue to make awesome cosmetic content for the
We love
events.
that.
And I think some of the summer game skins were absolutely amazing. Baseball Zenyatta, for example.
No, listen. I'm not for 10 seconds. I agree with that. Cosmetic upgrades is like Christmas. The first Christmas event was so good. The skin was so amazing. I jumped out of bed and had so much fun with it. It's a lot of fun, the events and the skins. I love that shit. The only thing is that as long as it's not repetitive and new events that are fun to play, we grind the fuck out of them. Remember when it was Retribution? We grinded the hell out of the game mode. It was so fucking fun, dude. We did both of them. As long as they make it fun and not just one tap and you're done with it.
And we've got some great stuff coming for the Halloween event. For example, Junkenstein's monster finally gets a bride.
Oh, thank God!
About who that might be. So there's great cosmetic content coming for the events. Now, what is not going to change radically is there's not going to be dramatic new game modes or changes to the existing game modes in Halloween Terror. We feel like Junkenstein's Revenge is super fun. There's some minor iterations coming that we think are going to improve it, but for the most part, it's going to be similar.
Come on, man.
Before. And this is very intentional because what the team is working on right now, the team focus is very different. We're focusing on these hero balance changes. We think the recent support balance changes that we made were extremely successful and really changed in a great way. So we've got another round of balance changes coming, as I mentioned earlier. The Torb rework.
Bridget is still one-tapping everyone. She's still fucking OP as shit, dude. It only made the broken supports even more brokener.
And we're focusing heavily on quality of life changes, such as the colorblind mode that I mentioned before.
Good, positive.
You can also see some other features that have been added to the game recently, such as LFG and endorsements that have been a great improvement to the game.
Don't get me started on that.
A focus shift for the team. We're focusing less on adding new versions of sporting events to summer games, for example, or adding new versions of Junkenstein's Revenge and focusing on these other things as well. So we hope you understand we're trying to be as transparent as possible about what our focus is.
Transparent, huh?
Things like the hero gallery filtering or the what's new wouldn't happen if we were focusing on this other stuff. So that's what's going on there. Similarly, I talked about last spring about 3 upcoming social features.
Oh, boys!
2 of those turned out to be LFG and endorsements. I think they're extremely successful. I think the player bases like them. We're still iterating on them. We're still trying to make them better. And I mentioned that around this time frame that we're in right now, we would see the introduction of a 3rd social feature. Well, I was wrong about that, and I apologize. And it's part of why we
fuck, dude!
the social feature is something we're super excited about. We're working really hard on. I think some of the smartest, best people at Blizzard are working on it right now. The problem is it's way more technically challenging once we got into the work of actually creating it than we had anticipated. There were things that came up.
What do you guys think that was? Roll queue?
No one's gonna fucking
see
use
we're gonna come up, and we'd rather make the feature perfect and
Replays.
take our time with it than rush it out. That means it's inevitably gonna push its release date out, definitely out of this year. But I don't have a new date for you, unfortunately. At this point, I promised you one date that we're not going to deliver on, and I don't want to do that again. Hopefully you understand why this is happening. It's sort of part of software development for all of us who have worked on games or other types of software, we understand. But for those of us who haven't, it can be confusing sometimes. You know, well, why did you tell me we were going to get it, and then we're not going to get it? I think there's a lot of other great stuff going on with the game right now. I think the development team focus is pretty awesome. We have a long list of quality of life features
I like that.
we want to focus on.
Hell yeah.
To deliver to you guys. We think the hero balance changes, the Torb rework,
That'll be good, I think.
LFG and endorsements are all contributing to making Overwatch a lot better. And there's a lot more on our list that we plan to deliver.
Okay, let me get you guys one thing. I hate to stop the video again, but the thing with Torb is that there's a lot of Torb 1 tricks that are ruining the game. It's one of the last characters that are 1 tricks that are kind of damaging to the game, right? Like, Torbs are just kind of annoying and ruining games. But the thing with the new Torb is that he has the old thing with the pools that is kind of easy to, I think will be easy to use, and it will actually have an applicable use in games. It'll make actually them useful, because now the Torb 1 tricks give nothing to the game. They make a game unwinnable, but Torbs now will make the game unwinnable, but will help every once in a while, which is very good.
That's everything I have for today's developer update. We're really looking forward to feedback as all this stuff makes its way to the PTR. As always, we're reading everything on social media. We're reading our forums. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for playing the game, and thanks.
What about patch notes? Sure, man. Much love, Jeff. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. That's really fun, man. We'll see you next time, okay, buddy?